All right, in today's video, we are breaking down Michael Saylor's most recent update on the BTC price in the next 21 years. If you have missed this, he basically was giving this speech at BTC Prague last week, almost 1 year to the date. So previously, he was out there June of last year, May of last year, I believe, and he had said that in 20 years, BTC would be about $13 million a coin. And now he has updated that to say it's going to be $21 million a coin. So we're going to listen to that and then break down the math and show you exactly how that works. Hey guys, welcome back. Drip Coach here with Drip and Farm for Poverty, where we don't trust, we verify, and operate with integrity and transparency. The TLDR for this is that Bitcoin is the escape valve. There are other things you could be getting involved in. And again, this goes back to Raoul Pal's 80-20 portfolio. Don't fuck this up. And, you know, if you're going to be a DGen and you want something more risky, more volatile, then yeah, definitely go out there and check out other alts, shit tokens, ROI, dApps, whatever. But by all means, make sure you don't do it with the bulk of your portfolio, because I think Raoul said something like this as well. He's like, you have the best opportunity right now with an asset like Bitcoin that is going to be appreciating, and like Michael Saylor is going to show you and talk about, his projection is about 29% per year. It's like, why do you need something else more risky? Yeah, we all want to get rich overnight, but you're more likely to get wrecked. So instead, stay humble, stack sats, and be able to enjoy your Bitcoin in a few years, because you can stack it now and be able to live off of it in a much shorter time frame if you don't want to wait 20 years, especially if you're willing to up and move somewhere else. So if you, however, make the mistake of chasing shit tokens and community cult projects and other alts and putting the bulk of your bag there, then you're gonna end up with absolutely nothing by the time it's over with. So BTC is the way to go. So let's take a look at Michael Saylor's most recent prophecy that he gave. I'm sure you've seen this clip around somewhere else. Actually, a little context on this. So this is about 20 minutes into his 46-minute speech. The reason he got there is because he rewound everything from where we were last year. So last year was before the new administration, and it was just post the ETF launch. ETFs launched April, February, March, I can't remember, early last year, right? So he's recapping on all of that to say, like, we have this monumental tailwind going on right now. And I'm actually going to do this and turn the volume off, and we play it. So there's been so many changes take place since then that he had to update his forecast. And the main thing is that, you know, shortly after the ETF, he gave this speech in Prague last year, Bitcoin wasn't really still being adopted globally like it is now. So yeah, there it is, last July. So this is just under 1 year. And since then, we've had the biggest tailwind kick in, which is the administration in the US embracing Bitcoin, not only creating, like, this wasn't even in the playbook. So when he gave his original thesis of 13 million a coin, it had nothing to do with this playbook and these things being changed. So that's why, again, this is super bullish and you don't need to go into anything else. The US embraced Bitcoin bigger than we ever thought possible. They created a strategic reserve. As of this video, they haven't started buying any, but who knows what the future will hold. But we've seen tons of Bitcoin treasury companies copy the MicroStrategy playbook, and we're seeing countries adopt the Bitcoin standard. He's showing you here all these different, what was that number? 1.4 million holdings, BTC holdings, 80 plus ETFs launched, over $150 billion in BTC value. Like, this was not in the playbook. This all happened after he gave his talk. So after last July, so literally 1 year later, we have all of this tailwind, like a coiled spring, and everybody's looking at the current Bitcoin price going, well, it just doesn't reflect any of this. And that's true. And I still believe that there is definitely still some paper Bitcoin being shelled around. But as long as you buy Bitcoin and you remove it off the exchange, you don't have to worry about it. And if some kind of black swan event happens where some company gets caught with their pants down, realize that the fundamentals of Bitcoin have not changed, and that will just be a buying opportunity. So I don't know if all these companies are actually buying and removing it off platforms or whatever, but we see this information, like we can see it on chain, we can see these transaction things of that nature going, and the volume and all that taking place. So there is just so many positive catalysts wound up, can't speak today, that it's caused him to have to change his thesis. So let's get into his new prediction and then look at the numbers, because yeah, the math don't lie. It's real simple to actually math this out yourself. So let's bring this back down a notch.
I think we're going to be $21 million in 21 years. It's a very special time in the network, maybe the one time in the history of the network where you look out 21 years and you see 21 million. Specifically, I expect 21 million coins at a $21 million price in 21 years, and people ask, how's the network going to grow? It's going to be growing at 21% in 21 years. The volatility is going to be 21. This is all, the only number you need to remember is the number 21. And what does that look like? Well, that looks like 28.5% from here. Not that different, slightly less than 29% ARR.
So let's look at that right now. So basically, I'm still confused on how he got this, because he says it's 21% annualized return rate, but it's actually the 29% that he projected before, 28.5. And you can find that by literally putting this into a calculator. So let's back it up, 28.5, just so you can see it in real time. So if you come over here to calculatorsite.com, you can look at the interest rate. This is the current price of Bitcoin. I think it's at 105, could be 104, could be 106, 107, whatever. We're gonna go 105. And then we calculate in 21 years at 28.5%. Yeah, it's just under 21 million. At 29%, it is 21 million and some change. So BTC, if at $105,000 right now at a 29% interest rate, compounded over the next 21 years, gets us to that $21 million price tag. So clearly, you don't need anything else to get into. Every we'll call it 3 years, your investment is doubled. That's crazy. So you got year one, and then boom, year three, you're at a double again. Then the next year, you got another double. So every 3 years, you can double your BTC. Now that's in USD value, of course. So you got to understand what you're actually getting, because there will be no reason to trade out of Bitcoin and into fiat. Remember, fiat is failing. So the goal is to stay humble, stack sats, and never sell those sats. There is nothing you need to be changing your Bitcoin into.
29% ARR. But the path to 21 million is not going to be simple. It's going to be volatile. And so you're going to see a volatility, and it's going to damp over time, but you got to be prepared for the volatility, for the surges and the drawdowns, the good days, the bad days. This is Bitcoin's annualized return looking back a decade, looking forward 2 decades. And you can see that the network was growing faster when it's small. That's totally rational. It's now in the mid 50s. What do I expect? I expect it will continue to grow exponentially, but as it approaches hundreds of trillions of dollars, it will decelerate to the point where it's growing about 21% a year. Now,
so that 21 is, yeah, his key number. And of course, that's 21 million Bitcoin. He even made his purchase of 21 million over 21 months or something like that, 42 million, I can't remember, but that's the number. But either way, the point is, regardless of what this number is, and again, he is MIT engineer, clearly loves his numbers and maths and charts and all the data and all that stuff like that. So I'm going to trust his framework. Nobody knows the future. We don't know what this will be growing at, but Right now it's sitting at around 50, 60. I think it was 60 last year. It's at 50 this year, or projected to be 50 at least this year. We ended last year around 70, and we're at 110 or so. So we're not quite there yet, but we have plenty of room to go. So it's logical to think that it will taper off. If the S&P is sitting around 10, this is a much more liquid global, anyone can get in market. So why would it not move at least the double of that, which would be 20? And it could be even higher. So either way, the point is, TLDR, you need to stay humble, stack sats, because this alone is enough to create generational wealth, especially if we get into the Bitcoin singularity or get into Bitcoin as a global reserve currency that people are willing to transact and trade in. Once that happens, you do not want to be selling your Bitcoin. Like, if that happens, though, if it's a global reserve currency, then yeah, I guess you would have to use it. But ideally, you would still borrow the worthless fiat and keep the Bitcoin. And again, with those, there is that risk, third-party risk. You just got to make sure you do your own research. I'm seeing literally every day, it seems like I see a new advertisement for a new Bitcoin borrow against your Bitcoin company coming out. Ledin is the most tried and true, but there are others out there, not to say they're any better or worse, but just be careful that if you are going to leverage that, which it is the best thing to do, you do not want to sell it. So you do need to do your own research and figure out who you can use that will keep your sats safe, because selling it just means you're going to have less sats in the future, and essentially you bought a shit token like fiat. All right, I want to know what you guys think about the new 21 million in 20 years, and also do the math yourself. If you were to just buy, say, $1,000 worth of Bitcoin right now, the 0.01 Bitcoin, and you were to do that same thing, again, this is in USD terms, you'd have $200,000 worth of fiat based off of the amount of Bitcoin you bought. Like, we could just call this sats or something like that, like, depending on however you wanted to look at this. But 0.001 sats purchased right now, you'd still have 0.001 sats in the future, but that sat would be worth, in USD terms, $200,000. That's not bad. So take advantage of the opportunity. Don't miss out. Stay humble, stack sats, live daily, and achieve your impossible. See ya.